Alabama, LSU. I've been on LSU since this offseason. Maybe because I had their spring game, got to really see what they're cooking over there. Defensively has been crap. Looks like it's getting a little bit better. What's your pulse on this one?
I think this one's interesting because this is a game that if Alabama starts the way they did against Tennessee, it's over. Like I don't think you're coming back against an LSU team with the firepower that they have. My biggest concern for how Alabama's built, they're built to like push the ball downfield, right? Protection's been an issue. When you just start to get in the weeds of this matchup, where they moved Harold Perkins, I don't love on one end. I don't think they're not improved in coverage because he's there. But now in protection, you always have to account for the fact that because he's over that slot corner, he's that nickel, he can come almost every time. And they'll bluff it. They'll bring him. They won't bring him. And if Alabama's on the right hash and you got Caden Proctor at left tackle over there, and when you go back and watch the Tennessee game, 8 out of 15 dropbacks, just straight called dropbacks, they chipped with the tight end for Caden. And that is great on one hand. On the other hand, that handicaps you. And that shows a lot. And so what do you do now if you got your strength or your tight end strength, your formation strength of the field, and Harold Perkins out there? You got a tight end on them? Do you full slide out there? They've been terrible in slide protection all year. So I think protection is going to be a big issue for this team. And if you are an offense that needs to push the ball downfield to make those big plays, which they've done well this year, like you better hold up.
Well, but Jordan, that's where I get a bit. This is where this game almost feels unlike any football game you break down, to where Alabama is awful at protecting Jalen Milroe, but it kind of hasn't mattered, right? Like he gets sacked a million times,
thrilled,
but that's what I'm saying. But the explosivity makes up for it. And I want to say he's completing he has like a 120 NFL passer rating under pressure this year. It's like 70%. So it's a weird thing where it's like, I don't think the LSU passer, like maybe they get after Milroe, but I don't know how much it matters because you're going to have 3 freshman corners trying to contend with Jermaine Burton out there. And it feels like if Jermaine Burton gets going, then the Alabama offense could potentially be okay.
If the game starts the way they need it to start, if they can dictate, I think, the pace of play, which I think is most important, right? And that's kind of why I said if LSU jumps out with 2 touchdowns early or something like that, that changes the complexion of what Alabama feels like they have to do on offense. So I watch Mike Denbrock and how he's moving Malik Neighbors, and Brian Thomas is a freaking robot out there. Kyron Lacey as well. Chris Hilton finally healthy as well. He's a dude that can be on the jet sweeps, can mix it up, get the ball in his hands. Alabama's defense has been playing good, but those dudes got weapons. And I think the X factor is Jaden Daniels, probably the fastest dude on the field when he turns.
So crazy, bro.
And then you have Diggs at running back too. I think that to me is more than anything.
Jaden. What about the O-line? The O-line's the great hidden hero of this LSU team. 100%. I think they're the best line.
It'll probably be healthy, right?
I think Emory Jones is going to be back.
Yeah.
If LSU can score in the mid-30s, can Alabama, even with how bad LSU's defense, can they keep up with that?
Yes, I think
it's 30. It's 30 LSU, enough for LSU.
No, I think LSU's got to be 40.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
I mean, the secondary, the LSU secondary is bad, right? And as much as I just talked about the protection, there will be times that LSU wins that. There'll be times that LSU will make Milroe scramble. They'll hit him, whatever. There's going to be a lot of times that there's going to be a big catch and run because you're out of place. The structure has improved since they've gone to more of this 4 down. There's less holes in the field, but the tackling's been bad. The coverage has been bad. Alabama's going to get some points, but can they keep pace? I think LSU's got to get 40.
It's kind of a fascinating thing where LSU clearly has the more giant glaring weakness, but they also have more giant glaring strength. And it's going to be who's going to win in that tug of war push-pull.
Well, this is also, think about the pressure. This is Jaden's Heisman moment. This is make or break for Heisman. So, there's a lot of that. And I talked to him last week, I think, or the week before we had the Army LSU game. And I asked him that. I know the right answer is you don't think about it, you don't talk about it. But this day and age, it's all you see when you flip on your phone. It's all your buddies are texting you. So maybe that unseen pressure, does he rise to the occasion? Does he start fast? Does he start slow? Is it a little too much early? I don't think it will be, but that's just a fascinating piece of this that isn't on paper, right?
Has he improved enough in your mind? And you saw him in person. I had a chance to see him in person. Has he improved enough in your mind to be a mid-round NFL guy?
I think
with the way he plays the game, he is elusive as hell now.
Yes, I think a mid-round guy for sure. Just because last year in talking to Denbrock too, it was all split field read stuff. It was all quick game horizontal stretch. Like we got to control Jaden's eyes because he's not a work through the progression, get from one side to the other. Never had to do it at Arizona State. So now they are much more a full field progression team. So now you actually are seeing these complete concepts. He's putting them on tape. He's excelling at them. So I think that was the difference maker from like, hey, let's take a flyer on a guy that like is a crazy athlete, crazy talented. Like he's going to need a lot of work to. This guy's a little closer than maybe we thought to be able to step on an NFL field and play and compete. I mean, shoot. I mean, did you see Will Levis?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know if I saw that coming. Right? I mean, like if you watched on Kentucky, I don't know if I see him going out there in his first big time play or not start.
4 tutties.
Yeah, 4 tutties.
Giant white guy.
4 tutties.
What?
White guy. T-Bob just loves giant white guy.
Giant white guy. Dude, I don't know what to tell you.
Hey, I mean, just a
big ass arm.
Doesn't always work out. When it does, look out.
I will. Yeah. What a nice moment for Levis too. Cause it's been kind of a shitty couple of years, right? Like Kentucky didn't go like he wanted to at the end, dropping in the draft out of nowhere. And now look at him. That's a
first off, he didn't drop out of the draft out of nowhere. It was idiots projecting him as a top 5 pick to start with.
Okay. Well, all I mean is the public conception and the NFL view of him were clearly at odds with one another.
100%.
Like everybody thought he was everybody in the public thought he was going to go way higher.
Yeah.
All right, let's move on then. We kind of touched on Heisman, and it is
who
Heisman.
wins the game, by the way? We didn't answer. Who wins the game? Early in the week prediction. What we got?
I'm gonna ride with LSU.
Oh, okay. Oh,
I am just, I think they're going to be able to score points. Do I think they're going to run up and down the field in Alabama? I said that like last week, and someone's like, "Oh, you think they're just going to go all over the field?" No, but they're going to score points. They're going to make some big plays. So can they get to 40? That'll be the question, but I think they win.
Man, this is one of those games where like already now I can already feel it in my gut a little bit, dude. Everybody around these parts is getting fucking fired up. If this place wins on Saturday, like Brian Kelly, you wanted to get out of jail free card. You want everybody, nobody's going to give a fuck about this secondary losing to Florida State. None of that shit. You go win this Saturday, you're God mode.